Hi everybody, welcome to another impromptu Friday morning edition of Monkey Island Madness. It's taped live over at Ustream TV, and we're just going to hang out this morning, and I might work on some scavenger hunt pages. So, hi Vicki, I am talking to a live audience, and I'm just going to sit here and work on the scavenger hunt page. And can you guys guess which page this is? I'll pull down a little bit so you can see it. Well, I'll start losing it if I don't. It's hard to see the edges, but I thought this was really fun. It's prompt number what? Let me see. Let me see. Number 17. Postage stamps. Yep, it's the postage stamp page. So I made a postage stamp of postage. Is that not cool? No, it's not the folded airplane page CD. Yeah, I made a postage stamp of postage, which I thought was really funny. That's how messed up I am. So, anyway, all I've got left to do is put some little bit more postage down, and it's done. Well, I'll do the writing on it, and I'm not putting these postage stamps through the Xyron, Eileen, so don't even suggest it. And I've been collecting these stamps since just before Christmas. I'm so cool. I know, Eileen. I'm glad you finally recognized that. Oh, you got the Holbein watercolors. Oh, Paula. Well, I'm going to open the box, Paula, and see if I can, you know, like, because I've seen the way Amazon packages stuff. I'll probably be able to package it more economically. I'm thinking. Hi, Lori. Okay, bye, kitty. You got Holbein watercolors. What a lucky, lucky girl. Oh, I didn't mean to put, oh well. I didn't want two of the same ones side by side, but if it happens, it happens. What are you going to do? Just like a little jigsaw puzzle here. Oh, I could put that together too. I don't know how big it is. And I'm still going to have to gather some stamps. I'm not going to have enough to finish it, but I had enough to at least start it, and these things have started to annoy me laying around, so I just figured, okay, go ahead and do that page and get her done. You got the 18 set. I don't know, Paula. Some of these things, I think if you get the small set, you can make almost every other color. So no worries. I wish I had enough stamps to finish this, but I don't. So it'll wait for a few weeks. And if it turns out that I don't have enough to finish the whole page, I'll just draw some. I'll just make my own. Yeah, because see, I've got two here that won't fit in the pattern, so that pretty much is that. You didn't miss anything, Dragonfly. All I was doing was gluing down some postage stamps. So I did go ahead and switch out the paper in the scavenger hunt book. I think the reason I was hesitating and not jumping right in and getting it done was I just I wasn't feeling the pattern paper. So the only thing, I did go ahead and just cut 20-pound bond. Doesn't have to be anything special, right? And went ahead and numbered the pages. So I saved the first page, and I'll, as I find junk that I think says me, that will be my me page. Otherwise, they're going to go in here willy-nilly, any which way, don't care. Not even going to worry about it. So send me things so I can finish my page. It'll get finished. Polly, that link doesn't work anymore. And I think it was Sherry saying that they took those away from everybody, so you can't have an affiliate store anymore, an Amazon affiliate store. A TH sprayer. What's a TH sprayer? Tim Holtz sprayer. You didn't number the pages? Well, I did because, okay, I'm not going to even mark that off that it's finished, but I will make myself a note here on prompt 15 or 17 postage stamp that that's actually page number 3. So it'll be easy for me to reference that if I want to find that, there it is, it's page number 3. And I don't know yet how I'm going to do the lettering, but I'll probably wait until I get this last stamp, and then I'll just stencil over the whole thing. USA forever, or whatever. Well, is that your writing or typed? Where? On here? That's my fancy writing for the list. Because I didn't want to learn software to type it. You made that grilled cheese in record time. Wow, you did do good, Dee Dee. Hi, by the way. Yeah, I like Bunny Designs videos. They're good. And you can make any color. It's just learning the colors. Did I skip the bad numbers? Well, of course I did, Trouble. Bad, banish numbers. And I ended up with a blue butterfly postage stamp. So that will definitely end up here somewhere, but not on the postage stamp page. But yeah, I needed a butterfly and I need blue things. So Karen was asking this morning if you can use one item for 2 prompts. And there are no rules. So yeah, that one could conceivably satisfy 2 of the prompts. Okay, and then I was going to fill you guys in quickly on the pens that we were resurrecting yesterday. I was unbelievably surprised how well that worked. So, Polly, did you do any more of yours? But I thought they'd come out like lighter, like they would end up being more like a wash. Look at how, oh, I'm going to turn off this light so hopefully you guys can see. Look at how juicy that bad boy is now. That is just like brand new. And to write with them, they're awesome. So, the Resurrection Pen Project worked fabulous. Look at how juicy they are. And I think they're probably, I don't think I've altered the color any. The only ones that didn't really work well were the, I'll pull it out here in a minute and show you. This one did not. This was the Zig Writer. I saved that to show you. It did not work well. But the fine tip end did. And look, I've already got ink on me. Yesterday, it took literally washing my hair twice to get that crap off my hands. Paula got a gift card. Religious pens at Resurrect. Yep, we resurrected the pens. These ones that have these rubberized tips, they're juicy as all get out, but they just don't, well, now this one's going to make a big fat liar out of me. Yeah, that one seems to be working fine. But the one I tested, it was just like, yeah, this ain't going to work good. Here's another one. It looks plenty juicy. All right, never mind, I'm a big fat liar. I don't think they color as smoothly as they did when they were new. But yeah, they'd even juice them up. So, I don't know. That was a project. She got a car. What? A Matchbox. All right, you guys are jacking with me. Are you guys jacking with me? Thank you, Dragonfly. But I got a gift card in December. A car? You guys are so jacking with me. Yeah, I ripped them open and put water in them yesterday, Trouble. Took the nibs right out, or took these ass ends right off. Well, I can't do it without the glove, but you can take that end off, take that whole middle out, and resurrect them. They're not going to last as long as they... I don't think they will. I can't say that because I don't know. I'm just making crap up as I go along. Yeah, I took the guts out, put water in them. Yeah. Which brush pen? Carol, I wish I could tell you what brush pen is best for lettering. I don't know. I've looked at a lot of YouTube videos, and it seems like everybody kind of has their own favorite. I think I want to learn with a real brush. All of these brush pens, I don't think they're going to have the give without, you know, damaging the points as a real brush. So this is the Pentel. I'm pretty sure this is the Pentel. Yeah, it's a Pentel Real Brush pen from Jet Pens. I'm going to try and use a real brush. And the reason is because you have so much more control over, you know, your light up strokes and then your heavy down strokes. And you can get an infinite number, you know, see how you can go from just almost no ink, and as you add more pressure, it's just going to get thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. You won't be able to do that with any kind of felt tip nib. You just won't. So I'm going to try to use a real paintbrush. And I think for practice, I'm going to use a water pen with my watercolors. I think that's what I'm going to use for practice, because I figure if I can control that, then I can control pretty much anything else. So the soft tip brush pen should be okay. I probably have those here, Carol, if I could just think where I would have put them. But yes, I would say this is a Pentel Real Brush pen from Jet Pens, and that is real real bristles. It's not felt, it's not that rubberized stuff. It's real. It's a real paintbrush, and it holds its point real well. And you know, because it's like a fountain pen, I mean, I can't refill it. I'll have to, well, maybe I can. Hell, I don't know. Yeah, I can refill it. I was going to say, I won't be putting this in water. And water is what's going to kill your bristles most of the time if you don't treat them really well, you know. So Menso brush, maybe. I don't know what Menso brush is. I know what menopause is, but I don't know what Menso brush. I'm real familiar with the menopause, though. Know all about that. So, but I think those real brush markers, the Kuretake, I won't use them for practice because they're a little pricey for stuff that, whoops, stuff that I'm going to throw away. But Eileen, surprise, surprise, Eileen enabled me to get off my stingy butt and buy these. And they are Clean Color Real Brush Markers. This is watercolor in a brush. These, I think, are going to be excellent for the brush lettering. And again, you can get just like really, really tiny lines and then thicker lines. Can you see that? I might have to come down a little bit. And my name is good because you've got a lot of upstrokes and downstrokes. And that's pretty much the deal about brush lettering, is it's a combination of the thin and the thick. But these are going to be really excellent, I think. But I'll use them for a finished project rather than to practice. Because these bad boys aren't cheap. I'm just telling you, they are not cheap. Pentel brush pen, yep. Use what you've got. So that's why I feel like I'll go get my my favorite water brush and some watercolor and show you that too. I think they're going to work just fine. Plus, a nice thing about learning to do it this way with the watercolors and the water brushes is for very little money. You know, I mean, you could use the Crayola pan watercolors just to practice. I mean, because it's really just training your arm and your brain. Is you can get the water brushes in so many different sizes and brush lengths. See, this one is obviously not the same as this one. So, you know, that's a nice thing too, is you can get really cheap materials to do a bunch of different things. So, you don't have any of what I'm talking about? Well, just get a paintbrush, Joyce, and you'll be good to go. But yeah, like I have brushes in a ton of different sizes, so that's usually because if I'm sitting at one place and I don't have a brush, I buy one to put there. See, this one's going to be crazy. This is one of the Jane Davenports, and it's got different tip than any of them. So there's two of the Jane Davenport sizes. Can you see that well? And I bought these with my coupons, so or they were on sale. I didn't pay full price because, yeah, you had to buy the books. You won't be sorry. Hi, hello. Hello, if you have a name, we'll call you it, or we'll just call you hello. We don't care. You got the water brush Dee Dee sent you? Well, I'm going to pretty much make myself start with just the one. And this is what I do on the couch if I don't know what else I'm going to do, is I start with just this one. This is my favorite one that my granddaughter ruined. And it's my favorite. It's always been my favorite. It'll be the favorite until I die. And I don't always spray my watercolors, but I'm gonna right now. I'll get that book out real quick and see where she says to start with the brush lettering. And I know it's the up and down strokes. There's several chapters in here about the brush strokes, so I'll start with the very first one, the very basic things. You'd think I have no paper, that I have to work on this little tiny piece of paper, right? Okay, bye, Trouble. Go have some fun today. And Barb's on at 1, so I probably will not step on her toes. She's only streaming like once a month now, so you have to eat PB&J all year. Well, my heart is breaking for you. That's all I gotta say. All right, but I think even, you know, for practice, just even like doing the borders, just learning just the hand control of light pressure, heavy pressure, light pressure. If you're doing it very mindfully, you know, I think every bit of that's going to help you if you ultimately want to learn brush lettering. It's as much just learning to control your brush as anything. And up and down is going to be better because that's really the strokes you've got to learn. Is light on the upstroke, real heavy on the downstroke. And when you can do this perfect, then you could go on and go to the next thing, you know. Because then after that, after you kind of do, let's see where she gets you started. Okay, she says the basics in the brush is learning also to make straight, and this is true with calligraphy too, learning to make your up and downs straight, starting at the same place, stopping at the same place. And the difference with brush lettering, of course, is you've got this other element of the brush and how it's going to behave. So I used to, when I was learning calligraphy, do this forever. Use unlined paper. Well, I started with lined paper, and then I went to unlined paper, learning to make my uprights the same height, starting at the same point, stopping at the same point, and making sure that they were vertical, not at an angle. And then the next exercise was doing the same thing, starting and stopping your pen strokes at an angle. And you'd be surprised. You'd think, that's so easy. And it's kind of easy when you're on the papers with lines on it, but when you go to unlined paper to try and keep those parallel, starting and stopping, you can see how bad mine are. I mean, I obviously need some practice. But that's what, if you really want to learn this stuff, that's the stuff you're going to have to learn. And then at some point, it becomes effortless. It really does. And then she starts showing an alphabet. I'll get out more of my little paper here. Like, excuse me, mixing up a light stroke on the down and then a real heavy stroke there, and light stroke on the cross. So you'd think, well, hell, I know the alphabet. It has nothing to do with the alphabet. And they don't do the rounded letters until later on, after you're proficient at some of the real basics. You're always going to be doing only straight line letters until you can do them just perfectly. So that's what it's going to be like. I don't know how many of you are interested in doing it. How many are you? How many of you are interested in doing it? So because I know Dee Dee wants to do it, and I want to do it. but it's obviously not going to be something that everybody's interested in learning. But again, it's one of those things where you're using what you've got, and that's kind of what Eileen is going to make me do this year. Use what I've got. It's mostly just being mindful of the up and down stroke. Seeing I was doing it backwards that way, but I was doing it on purpose. Your downstroke is always going to be your heavy stroke. Your upstroke is going to be your light. You do the brush stroke on here, will I have to buy the book? Joyce, you don't have to buy any books, honestly. If you get on there, get on YouTube and search for beginning brush lettering, you will have more videos than you can watch in your lifetime. You were thinking of buying invisible ink, so you have a black light in your bedroom? I feel like I'm going to be getting set up here of buying invisible ink. Invisible ink. I'm not following. She's going to have to explain. Like, duh. There's probably something so obvious that I don't. You want to do it? Okay. But Joyce, I would say no. Don't buy the book until later. Like, go on the internet. You'll find so much resources out there. Is there one book that we could buy, and I'll work out of that one? I'd like to say yes, Piccola, but the truth of the matter is no. And the reason is, everybody will give it a different amount of effort. I may jump into this whole hog and just start practicing 2-3 hours a day. And in a week's time, I'm going to see results from my practice. Somebody else might only put in an hour a week. Well, it's going to take them much, much longer because they're not reinforcing that behavior in their brain. And so I'd like to say, you know, if we could assign that everybody practice 1 hour every day, and at the end of the week, we're going to do this project. That's not realistic with a group like this because we're not all going to progress at the same rate. Another thing is, Dee Dee and I have a little bit of an advantage in that we, well, and maybe some of you in chat as well, have the advantage that you already do calligraphy. So the whole posture and materials and all that, we already have a lot of experience with. So, you know, I can promise you, Dee Dee is going to be really, really quick at this because she has some of the basic disciplines down. I will be a little bit slower than Dee Dee because she's more proficient than I am. And so we're not all going to progress at the same rate. So that's why we can't all get one book and do it. You did it in art school many moons ago. I love it, Kathy. I really do. Hi, by the way. To me, it's very relaxing to sit down with my paintbrush and some ink, whether it be a pen nib or whether it's a brush. I just like making the strokes. I like testing myself to see, can I get them accurate? Is it something I could freehand on a piece of art? You know, just there's so many aspects to it. What kind of paper? To start out, Azure, do not buy any special paper. Really, I will be practicing probably on, I got this at Dollar Tree ages ago. Let me see, where is it? I found it. It's some really, really inexpensive Chinese paper. First of all, I'll tell you, sucks. It's not good paper. But initially, I don't know that the paper matters, because what you need if you're going to start out doing this from absolute scratch is the discipline, one, to sit here and do the strokes over and over and over again until your brain knows exactly what it wants your hand to do. So this is just the, you buy it for, there's not much left in here, but you buy it for $1. It's the graph paper. And the reason I decided graph paper is because I've got the straight lines vertically and horizontally by using this. So if I'm going to sit here and do an exercise, just to make myself start and stop the pen at the same place, if I'm going to do that exercise, the lines are already there for me. So I make it easier for myself, that I know my starting point, my stopping point, and then I can start making myself do the lines fatter, press a little harder, and then come back up from the bottom to the top with a light stroke, top to bottom with a heavy stroke. The more strokes you make on the paper, the better you're going to be. And the more perfect ones, when your mind kind of just leaves you and you're doing it kind of automatically, that's when you know your brain has kind of made the transition from having to think about everything you do to just doing it. If you have a bunch of 110 cards stuck, that's great. I wouldn't waste it on my practice. I would just go buy some garbage copier paper, but I will probably be practicing on some sort of graph paper, and you can get this at Dollar Tree for no money. Okay, and then do different sizes. Up is light, down is heavy. And when you're just starting, you may want to draw bigger. And then work your way down. And see, yeah, I'm going to do it probably with a water brush. Graph paper is a really good idea for practice jotting that down. I think it is, because you've got your verticals and your horizontals already straight, and your starting point and your stopping point. And then if you want to work on the diagonals, you've got a background to judge your lines against. Because you want all your strokes to be very similar, where your brain just kind of does it and doesn't think about it. And when you get to that point, you can start really doing well. So, you have graph paper, okay. But I don't know if you remember back in school when you learned, I guess it was cursive writing, where they had you take your pencil and do and this is a good exercise for warming up still today. Whether you're going to be drawing and sketching, whatever, just warm yourself up and try and do as many perfect curlicues, the same height, the same distance apart, and it will allow your writing to flow a whole lot easier. And you can kind of feel when it starts coming just out of nowhere. You're not really thinking about making the marks are just happening. Do you remember doing that? Or the up and down, up and down, up and down to the count of 20 or whatever, and make it perfect? It's the same sort of deal. You're warming up your hand and your brain to do something that you want it to learn. That's pretty much what it's about. Well, you can print out graph paper too. The only thing about that is printer ink is about $1,000–1,500 a gallon. So your cheap printer paper turns into pretty expensive practice paper. That's how I feel about anything that comes out of the printer. Yeah, that printer ink is not free. It is, and I've seen the studies that says printer ink is the most expensive fluid that we buy. It's more expensive than milk. It's more expensive than fossil fuels. So, I mean, you can print anything you want. I won't be printing mine. Waterproofpaper.com. Okay, print out. Yeah, I just won't print stuff on my computer because I hate buying that damn expensive ink. When I can walk into Dollar Tree and get, what, 100 sheets or more for $1? Throwing away that penny doesn't bother me a bit. Alright, I'm reading chat real quick. Oh, they're talking about cold weather. Anyway, so the book that I'm actually looking at right now, somebody had asked that earlier and I failed to answer it, was I had shown this the other day, and it's a very cool book, and I think it's very instructive. It's called Hand Lettering for Real. Oh man, is that camera crooked? Hand Lettering for Relaxation. It was kind of an impulse buy for me, but after I really looked through it, I'm happy I bought it, and it does have some real basic instruction about brush lettering. And this is kind of the basics of where you're learning. And then she gives you practice pages to work on. So I think the way I will be approaching it is lots and lots and lots of practice, and I will watch YouTube videos of people that I think have really, really mastered it. Okay, HB Printer Ink Club, $5 a month. When you run out of ink, they send you more. $5 for 100 sheets, I think. So I have to pay my printer ink company $5 a month too? Oh shit. God. Hi Sarah. Hi Joan. And Eileen, I think you'd asked me earlier what's the best paper to do this on. For practice, the cheapest graph paper you can find is what I would recommend. When, yeah, get the kids' writing tablets at the dollar store, really. Like, don't spend any money on your practice paper, because after a few weeks, if you are diligent about doing your practice, and Dee Dee can tell you guys if I'm wrong, but after a few weeks of doing this practice, just honestly sitting here for an hour doing these humps and giving it some thought, you know, what are you trying to learn here? Light on the upstroke, heavy on the downstroke. At first, they're going to look like crap, I'm telling you. They're going to look bad. But if I do this, you know, for an hour or two every day for the next 2 weeks, at the end of 2 weeks' time, I'm going to be better at it. I promise you. So I will hold onto this, for 2 to 3, 4 weeks' time until I can actually see myself improving. And when I start to see the improvement, you know, I might put it away and then pull it out, I don't know, in another month. So, you know, I can kind of measure my own progress. But just the habit of doing it, because really getting that tiny upstroke and then the thick downstroke is really what the brush lettering is going to be all about. And then at some point you're going to have to start adding in, okay, the the O, that you want a heavy downstroke, light upstroke, and in there a loop. So you'll start adding more elements as you move on down the road. And the thing I like about using the paintbrush, and that should have been a heavy, see, Kathy said she did this in art school. Do you feel real rusty, Kathy? Do you think it'll come back to you quickly? I think it'll come quickly for me because I actually like sitting and doing this. I love, like in school, I love having to sit down and do the lessons. I love that. It's just good discipline to make yourself learn. Make your hand do what you want it to do until you can start seeing improvements. You could also use tracing paper. I saw that. Strathmore Free Workshops. You guys really, when it comes to these practice sheets, I can't impress upon you enough. I mean, if you want to use your nice paper for that, go for it. But for practice, I don't see any point in spending the money. I was going to ask you, CB, if you were still doing the Zentangles, because you're not posting them. Okay, and I'll just start doing a rainbow. When I need more paint, I'll just go to the next color. You know, and another thing I learned in one of the YouTube videos I was watching is how you hold your brush. Hold it at, was it 10 or 11 o'clock? Now I can't remember. But there is a way to hold your brush. I tend to hold mine straight up and down, but I'm going to have to learn to hold my brush a little bit differently, which is going to change the way my strokes look. It was 40 years ago? Okay. So, yeah, it's almost like the rest of us. You're almost going to be starting from scratch, only you'll have an instructor's voice in your head saying, do it this way. And you can see when I change the angle on my brush, the amount of pressure I have to put on that downstroke changes. And so those are the things you're going to want to be watched for and learn. I'm not going to be doing this for artwork to sell. I'll probably be using it just in my own journal for my own enjoyment, maybe writing quotes or whatever. So, you know, do I need to be perfect? Ouch. But that's one of the things I like about using the watercolor rather than having just a brush, is how I can, you know, make the colors start changing the further along I go. I like that a lot. So what did CB say about whether or not she's Zentangling? Yeah, I think it's sad too that they're not doing cursive in school anymore. I did see the thing about the invisible ink, Paula, that you have to have a black light to read it. Well, we could write secret code. What did I just flip back in chat for a minute? Oh, you're talking about that journal that we got with the dot matrix? Yeah, that is. I think that's too nice to do your practice in, quite frankly. Oh, and James is starting to write. He's bringing home practice sheets. Cool. I need a paperweight. I can't hold my coloring page still anymore. You guys might have called it something different, script and cursive. We always called it cursive down here. I made my kids learn cursive when I was homeschooling. I think it's good to learn. Writing lemon juice, need to heat to see it. If I'm going to cut open a lemon, I'm putting it in Scotch, CB. She is doing live to get her Cameo to work. Oh, okay. Good luck on her. So, yeah, that's what I was going to talk about lettering. I'm eager to start working on it. I really am. Really, really. But I've got so many other things. Like I did finally get my 2018 calendar ready. That took forever, it felt like. Now I started working on the scavenger hunt. But I'll definitely be doing more with my brush. I think the more comfortable I feel using the brush, the more it's going to pay off in my hand lettering. But do pay attention, like go on YouTube, because I do remember that one girl talking about holding your brush at a certain angle, and now I don't remember. That's been a while since I've watched that. But if you're going to commit to it, just know going in, it takes time. It's a commitment. It's like anything else. It's not going to come just because you bought the paint and the paintbrush. You've got to do the time. And even after you learn it, it's kind of like with calligraphy. Even after you learn it and you know how to hold the pen and you know how to do all this stuff, if you don't use it, you lose it. You'll have to go back and do refreshers. Karen, when you're posting pictures for the scavenger hunt, use hashtag scavenger hunt 2018 and then go into Twitter and put that up in the search box, and you'll be able to see what all the women who have posted have done. There's some good stuff on there already. You need to go look. Go search hashtag scavenger hunt 2018. Some of these women have gotten very, very creative already. Okay, and I'll tell you, Paula, if your stuff does come tomorrow, which I hope it does, if you want me to open the box and show you what came, I'll turn on the camera. Otherwise, I'm going to repackage it and get it back in the mail to you, headed out of here Tuesday, because I'm going to the post office Tuesday again. Oh, happy birthday, Sarah. When you hit 40, I don't even remember 40, I don't think. But even, I don't know if how many of you have seen what Paula's done, you know, with her watercolors. where she's done the pages. I think it started out like a swatch book, and it truly has, I think, become more your style, Paula, because, I mean, even doing those blocks straight up and down so consistently like you have, that took a certain amount of practice. I'll bet your later ones are way, way better than your early ones. Because it really is just practice, practice, practice. And I'm just playing right now. There may be more stuff waiting to ship. Eileen made me buy those Razzie-Frazz and stencils. It's hashtag it's all Eileen's fault. I'm not kidding. That's probably half of everything I own is Eileen's fault. She should be a stock buyer enabler. Buy AT&T. Buy Microsoft. Buy Walmart. At least maybe at the end of the year we'd all have really something to show for what we've spent our money on. Alright, there's my vine that I love to draw. What is? Paula traded her gift card for art supplies. She's smart. Very smart girl there. So what other questions have you got? There was tons of parts of this book that I really, really liked. I liked this. Well, here, I'll paint it for you rather than show it to you in the book. I'll just show you. Kind of the whimsical kind of lettering too. I think I hear a rat coming in. Yes, I do.
Howdy, howdy.
Hi, honey.
Oh, you're screaming.
How'd it go?
Good.
Okay, bye, Dee Dee. Go buy some cheap graph paper. How'd it go, hon?
Good.
Good.
Absolutely good.
And you're done for the whole weekend.
Huh?
You're done for the whole weekend.
Yeah. I talked to the kid.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
How's he doing?
He's doing okay.
Cool.
He's having tell me all about the sidekicks that you had.
Side
Are you on the
effects?
screen now?
Yes, I am.
I'll talk to you about it later.
Okay. So just doing kind of fun, whimsical lettering like that. Eileen said, hi, Robert. Hi, CB said, hi, Robert, honey.
Tell him hi. Both of them.
Karen said, hi, Rat. Suzanne, they're all saying hi, Robert Bond. Were you starving when you came home? He hasn't even taken his coat off, and he's already eating. So if you guys think I'm kidding when I say the boy eats nonstop, I swear to God. Doesn't even have his coat off. You're so funny. You walked in starving, didn't you? Poor baby.
Pillsbury Doughboy.
So, anyway, we've only got about, what, 20 minutes till Barb? I'm not on a proper freeze, but we ran out of money, so I guess I am. General work bills. I hear you there, Aaron. Use what you got, Christy. That's what we're doing this year. We're not buying anything new. We're using what we've got. Okay, let me go back and see in the brush lettering how she would do an H with that. Looking. All right, well, the H for brush lettering is, the capital is very close to how I just showed it. At least in the alphabet she's showing. Okay. So it's going to be pretty easy to learn, I think. We're not buying anything. Well, you can buy Depends if you need them, and food once in a while. I would say if you need toothpaste, go to the neighbor and borrow some. Yeah, we're not buying anything. No, you guys, we don't pay your bills, so y'all do whatever you want. Tell Eileen and I to go pound sand. I know that there are a lot of things I bought that I have not used like I should. That I will say for sure. I have, what's this wee pale face? You sound like Robert. He says to me when I say we, when it's something he wants to do, he doesn't want to do, he'll say, "You got fleas?" We should start a pool. Exactly. Paula, whatever the first date is, that's the one I want, because she's already broke it by buying the damn books. I know, too, with the brush lettering, there's a lot of starting and stopping. Like, it's not just fluid like cursive. Like, that is way too flourishy for me. So now you guys know what I'll be doing in the evening. I'll be sitting here practicing. You've already broken it too? Yeah, see, Eileen's just not going to tell us when she buys stuff. I am going to get their calendars for $3 too, Trouble. I am. But I think just by having this kind of mindset, you guys, I am going to be more careful about falling into the trap of buying something because it's a fad right now, or like the Jane Davenport stuff, you know. I didn't need any of that, quite frankly. I could have lived without every bit of it. I'm not sorry, I mean, and I'm going to use it, but how much stuff have we all got sitting around that we bought with good intentions? I never buy something thinking, well, this is going to look great on the cupboard and I'll never touch it again. I think we all have great intentions of using our stuff. The thing is, so much stuff, so little time. And I know, I'm no different than any of the rest of you. I want, like if Tim Holtz is showing something at CHA and it looks so cool to do, I want to do it. I want to have it. But yeah, that's the kind of crap I'm going to do without. Do I have something that I can use that will do the same thing? Somebody was talking about gelatos the other day, and I bought them. And thank God I didn't buy the whole set. I'm glad I bought the small, inexpensive set. But it didn't take me long to figure out that I am not a fan. I'm going to make myself use them this year for backgrounds. I really am. Well, you know what, Joyce? You're probably lucky that you're 3 years behind us, because you probably just saved yourself a ton of money. And I will still play too, Joyce, but I'm really going to stop before I buy something and think, is there something else that I have that will work? Let's see how they did that D. The D she makes looks like one continuous. That was horrible. How would I normally do a D? I'll do a Joycey saying, don't bug me. They look like penguins. Yeah, they're horrible. But the D in the book, let me show it to you. She makes it look like one continuous stroke. You don't know where the pen lifted up or got off the paper, right? Is it 2 Eastern? It's 1 Eastern, isn't it? The distress crayons. I don't have the distress crayons, and I'm glad I didn't buy them. Yeah. Gelatos. I'll show them to you, Joyce. We all have them, or a lot of us have them, and they're absolute useless for the kind of art I do, for sure. But I am going to use them in backgrounds. These are gelatos, Joycey. They look like little tubes of chapstick, right? And they're just pigment. They look like lipsticks. And they come in, I think I got the 12 set. Yeah, don't even think about the gelatos, Joyce. You can, I'll get out the cotton fiber paper. I'm going to work a little bit better for this. Okay, they're creamy, and that's kind of how they go down on the paper. And then you can dissolve them with a water brush. But I think the way I'm going to use them this year, and I'm committed to using them, but I promise you when they're used up, I won't be buying more. Because they're only really good for big areas, in my humble opinion. Like, you can't do any fine work with them for sure, but if you have a background you want done, you can use them for that. Creamy crap. Well, what other word would you use them? And Dorothy's saying, I love my gelatos. If you're doing big areas, I suppose they're fine. I will use them with a baby wipe. More like that. And that's kind of the difference. Because see there where you can kind of see the brush marks? I don't like the brush marks, so I'll be using them to stain the paper. So that's how I will be using them. They're not even worth mailing, Aaron. I wouldn't even spend money on postage to get them to you. And I'm not kidding there. They're not worth mailing. Why not just use Neo 2s? Well, there you go, Suzanne. There are much better products, I think, out there. But yeah, like I decided some of the pages in my scavenger hunt journal, I am going to colorize the background with the gelatos. Like this. And then with the baby wipe, I can kind of control. Okay, so you can kind of see how they work. They're not horrible, I mean, but really, for whatever reason, I'm just not a huge fan. And I suppose I never have done it, but I will do it right now. I suppose if you wanted to use them like a watercolor, you could take them right off the stick. Yeah, you can. So, I guess in some ways they're just like a Neo 2 or any other water-soluble product. I just don't think that the pigment's not as rich. I don't know. Call me crazy, but I think they're not that great. But now that I've started doing this background, I'll just go ahead and do it. Hi, Judy. So you can use them to colorize a whole sheet of paper very quickly. And that's why I like them with the baby wipes, because you can spread them really, really quick. Hi, Judy. I will let my hubs know, sir. I think I still have your number. Okay. So I guess for a quick background, they're not horrible. But this is exactly how I intend to use them. Do you have to use a fixative with them? No, Karen, when you spread this pigment around, they're probably not going anywhere. I wouldn't use a fixative I wouldn't waste my expensive fixative on it. That's the truth. So soften out the edges here and there, but there's a yellow, blue, and green background that you could put stuff on top of. You were talking to Sarah? Okay, cool. And after that dries, I can do some lettering on it. And I used cotton fiber paper for that because I knew it would take the water well. Mine don't, and I had to fix it in one of my pages, but not most. Yeah, I think if you get them pretty well dissolved, that pigment is not going to move anywhere. I'll test here in just a minute. You'll be able to tell where there's still pigment sitting on the paper. They're very waxy. So the thing about a baby wipe is it picks up the wax. Let me dry this real quick and I'll tell you. But I have them. I paid for them. I'm going to use them. Right? Okay, Dorothy's saying the heat's got them. Maybe what we should have done as part of the scavenger hunt is include in the prompt list, like number whatever, let's just say 17, that you had to find postage stamp and use gelatos and make it really hard. But the thing was, I didn't want people spending money. Seriously, if you are in the market for watercolor crayons, watch my video. There you go. Alright, that's dry. It smelled like burning wax, kind of. You know how when you blow a candle out? And I was wondering if the smell was coming from the gelatos. I don't know where it was coming from. Alright, let's go ahead and do a letter on here. Where's the book? Okay, you can see where the wax is repelling some of the watercolor. So I obviously did not get all the wax dissolved, and that's going to be the problem with the gelatos, or any wax-based product, in all fairness. Alright, I'm going to have to put this in my lap so I can see how they constructed. Alright, they get a warm, waxy smell. Okay, yeah, because I could smell that. Yep. There are places where it's just repelling the water completely. Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah, even places where I thought I had pretty much dissolved all the wax. So, and I'm not trying to do things to make you think gelatos suck. I'm just telling you the truth about why they suck. I didn't make this up. That's about crooked, but it's okay. Did Jean come in? Hi, Jean. So you've taught the company something, Jean? They figured out they don't have the correct fix? What the hell? That's crazy. So they're selling a machine that has Bluetooth, but they don't have the Bluetooth working. Call me crazy, but that's crazy. All right, we'll use this one. Don't know what color it's going to come out. We're going to draw a flower like the girl in this book. All right, am I crazy? But is Barb going to be on here any minute? Oh, they told you that once you realized you had a particular model. Okay. But I thought you bought it for that whole Bluetooth feature, Jean. Maybe I'm wrong. There's, again, repelling the water. But I will say the color of the gelatos underneath are not moving at all. So after I heat set them, they are permanent, but they are repelling this water. If I go over them the second or third time, then they go ahead and accept the watercolor. But I obviously did not remove all the wax. And that's the problem I have with a lot of the wax-based products. Barb's on it too. Okay. Okay, there are the great features, and I'll fix it. Okay, 3 year time, 2 Eastern. Okay, I'm an hour ahead of myself. That bee's cool. Bee's cool. Bee's cool. All right, now we need to dry it, and I'll use some ink, and then I will. I'm not really doing anything other than just playing here. I have another hour. Okay, I probably won't stay on the whole hour. Because Ratatouille came in and disappeared downstairs immediately. I don't know if he wanted to yak or what, but I'll go yak with the rat. He's probably doing his email and stuff because he didn't get a chance this morning. I don't know how many of you watch Netflix, but this last week I've been binge watching Ozark. It was Netflix original production. about a guy who is laundering money for the Mexican drug cartel. If you don't like bad language, don't watch it. I will tell you that, because boy, you hear some really bad language going on there. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good show. It definitely held my interest. So just passing that on. Ozark is a pretty good show. Dorothy backs off from the Apple Windows ancient battles. What? I should have done something blue to put in the scavenger hunt, huh? What? Does the lettering count? Maybe it does. I guess it does if I say it does. Oh, you've been watching Ozark? Hi, Judy. Ozark is great. Yeah, I've really enjoyed Ozark. I mean, it's so full of stereotypes about people from the Ozarks, because Monkey Island is, in fact, the foothills of the Ozark Mountains. So if I drive 30 miles east of here, I'm in the Ozark Mountains. And it is beautiful. Don't ever let anybody tell you that Arkansas and Missouri are not, well, not so much Missouri, but Arkansas is some kind of beautiful. I am so not kidding you. But anyway, the stereotypes about the people from the Ozarks are pretty hysterical. Not that they aren't true to some extent, some of them, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. What was the other one? I don't know if you, well, another one, if you don't like dirty language, don't watch it, is The Ranch. Oh my God, Sam Elliott is so funny. He kills me. But yeah, that is full of some serious nasty language. Ozark was the last series you watched, yeah. You've been power watching Blacklist. I've got that on my list. That new show, LA to Vegas, how stupid that show is. Dylan McDermott. McDreamy? Is that who you're talking about? McDreamy? Oh, just put green in my yellow. That's bad news. I hate when I do that, because then I have to flood it to clean it. Wasn't Dylan McDermott McDreamy? Or am I on drugs? But I started watching, and there's not very many of them, and I know when it's over I'm going to be sad, but I started watching last night, but I have to start over because I fell asleep. Alias Grace, about a, is she Irish, Scottish? Yeah, see, I fell asleep, so I don't remember a lot about it, but who ends up in prison. Alias Grace, but it looks really, really good too. So, yep, I'll be watching it probably tomorrow. I need orange. No, Dylan is much cuter than McDreamy. Okay. See, you can tell how much of this crap I know. I don't know anything about any of it. If I was ever in a trivia game where I had to know actors or stuff like that, I would lose so miserably. Ask me science, ask me anything, ask me math, ask me anything, but don't ask me actors and actresses' names. So for just being a goofy little piece of paper here, proof that you can turn anything into a fun, pretty little piece of art. I do love these watercolors. I will say that. I mean, I'm just sitting here playing with them because I can. I truly, truly love these watercolors. I really do. The Primas, the Jane Davenports. I'm never going to buy any of the expensive ones because I'm never going to be doing fancy dancy art like Jean does. But I do love these. Hi, Kimmy Pooh. Patrick Dempsey was McDreamy. Okay. Grace and Frankie. Yeah, I like that, even though I hate Jane Fonda. Yeah, I love Lily Tomlin no matter what she does. Way back from, what, Laughing? Yeah, I love Lily Tomlin, but I don't like Jane. Oops, sorry you guys. Down here blowing it dry where you can't see squat. Where did my black pen go? Yeah, well, I think if you're a certain age, Judy, this is how I feel about it. If you're a certain age and you grew up knowing anything about the Vietnam War or anything like that, how could you like Jane Fonda? And I don't mean to get political or anything, but honestly, that's why I despise her. Yeah. And then, too, I wonder if she didn't marry Ted Turner for his money. I'm pretty sure she did. And who would put up with her anyway? For real. For real, for real. Who would put up with her? Now you're going to watch me do that same border again because I'm going to put it on this. Judy just said exactly. It's funny where your mind wanders when you're sitting here, like when I'm painting like this. Why did I go to that Alias Gray show? Maybe I'm eager to go watch some more, but I can't do it until I get my work done around here and get dinner ready. So, otherwise, we'd never eat. If I just let myself do whatever I wanted when I wanted, yeah, we'd never eat. The house would be a pig pen. Yep, pretty much. And I've only got one more phone call to make, so. And I don't know if Ratatouille's going to want pizza tonight. The boy needs to eat good. Yeah, I mean, if you can remove your attitude about the political stuff, yeah, she is funny in Frankie and Grace. There's no doubt about it. Her and Lily Tomlin definitely have some chemistry. And they play their, what were the, Felix Unger, the Odd Couple. They are just the Odd Couple, the female version of the Odd Couple. And they do both really play their parts so well. I absolutely adore Lily Tomlin. If I was more eclectic, Lily Tomlin probably would be me. I think I'm a little bit more disciplined than Lily, but yeah. The hanging out, smoking pot, doing whatever, yeah, that could easily be me. Just saying. It really could. Jason Bateman. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of, Gene, the Odd Couple. Felix Unger and... I don't know. God, that's been about 150 years since those movies came out, right? Walter Matthis. I think they're dead now, both of them. And wasn't it Sophia Loren did one of the movies with him? You watched Alias Grace, Suzanne? Yeah, I just started it last night, and Robert was gone. He had to go over and fix the fence at the emu farm. God, I feel so sorry for him. It was so cold last night, and Donnie called him and said the electric fence is down, and he wasn't home. He was up in Joplin. Can you go over and take a look? I felt so sorry for the rat. He had to go out in that freezing-ass cold weather to fix the electric fence. And I'm not kidding. I sat down to watch TV, until he got home. I don't think I stayed awake 10 minutes. And he didn't get home until like 8:30, I think. Well, hell, by then I'd been asleep for more than an hour. Still slept last night, though, so I figure I must have needed it, or I wouldn't have done it. Maybe I have narcolepsy. That was Grumpy Old Men. That's right, yeah. But wasn't it the same guys? That damn emu, oh, believe me, CB, but the crazy thing is, Robert is... He's gotten, I guess, attached to the emu. The emu won't let you near him, won't let him talk or anything. Like, you can't touch him or he's not a pet. But now Robert worries about the emu. Like, he's calling Donnie, did anybody feed the emu? Like, Robert, it's not your emu. You don't have to worry about it. Call the owner and tell him to come pick up that damn emu, But now Robert feels responsible for the emu. Yeah, the emu has become a thing for the rat. He does. He has a good heart, but now he's attached to the freaking emu. So good luck with that. You know, I asked him the other day, I said, does the owner of the emu, who lives just like, I think, a quarter of the mile down the road, I said, does the owner of the emu even know the emu's missing? You know, like, wouldn't you come get your emu wranglers and come get the damn emu rather than letting strangers take care of it? Robert doesn't even know those people. And thank God we don't have a fenced yard, or that damn emu probably would be living over here. Robert had adopted a fox. I don't know if I've told you guys this story, but ever since I've lived here, we had, you know, we just called it the neighborhood fox. It was kind of a pet, and everybody knew the fox, knew about the fox. Well, Robert, you've got to remember, we're on an island, so whatever wildlife gets here can't get off, right? But we were being overrun with squirrels. And of course, you get a lot of inbreeding and stuff in animals, and they start getting diseased and blah, 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 blah. So Robert had started shooting the squirrels. One, because they're destructive little bastards and they dig up our yard. And then also, he would feed them to the fox, right? He'd put them on we have 2 decks, one upper deck, one lower deck. He would always put the squirrels that he shot on the lower deck. And lo and behold, the fox started coming like every day about 5, because that's normally when he crossed our yard going wherever he was going. And the fox figured out that every day or every other day or however often he shot a fox, there would be a squirrel down on our lower deck. And so we would start watching for the fox, and sure enough. Well, one day I was out, I think I was digging in the garden anyway. And it was middle of the day. It wasn't even like later on in the day. It was middle of the day, and I looked up, and here's the fox, like right up on the porch with me. And I thought, well, now this is really weird behavior, and then you start worrying, you know, are they rabid? Why are they acting weird? But he had gotten so friendly. He would just come sit on the porch with us. We never touched him or anything. But we got this new neighbor over next door who decided he wanted chickens. And you have to understand, we are not a chicken neighborhood, okay? I don't know how to describe that without sounding elitist or whatever, but really, if you saw the neighborhood, you would recognize that this is not a chicken neighborhood. But this Yahoo next door decides he's going to raise chickens. And he'd put a chicken out in his backyard in a cage, I guess. I don't even know. I don't even know if I know the whole story correctly. I was just so pissed off when it happened. And I don't remember where we were. But he sent Robert a picture. Okay, and Robert does the burning for the whole neighborhood too, okay? He texted Robert a picture of the fox on top of the burn pile. He had killed Robert's fox. And I don't know if he didn't realize that that had become kind of a pet for Robert, that Robert liked feeding the fox, we liked watching for the fox, whatever. But he explained to Robert that the fox had gotten one of his chickens. I swear to God, I wanted to go over and wring his neck. I could care less about his damn chickens. I told Robert, I am going to wring his neck. I'm not kidding you. I was so mad. I was so mad. And I didn't have a great impression of the neighbor to begin with. Okay, I'll just say that. He did not make a great first impression the first time I met him. So I was not a fan, and then he killed Robert's fox, and I was really pissed. Oh, I was pissed. I was never going to forgive this guy. Well, Robert finally gave him a second chance because that's what Robert does. I don't, but Robert does. Everybody gets a second chance. That's probably why I'm still around. I don't know, but he said, you know, you got to cut him some slack. He's a good guy. And I'm like, nah, he's a dick. And yeah, I'm never going to cut him any slack. No, you got to cut him some slack. No, he's a dick. We went round and round for several months about this neighbor, and I just stayed away from the neighbor. I didn't have anything to do with him. If there was anything that had to be done with the neighbor, Robert had to do it. Well, then Robert got leukemia, right? And we had to leave here very quickly last May when all that happened. And there's a whole nother story about that too. But anyway, I will have to say that he was so good to Robert when he found out about the diagnosis and all that. He called Robert every day. What can I do? Can I mow the lawn? Can I do this? Can I do that? I mean, the guy bent over backwards when Robert got sick. So Robert's like, see, I told you, he's really a good guy, you know, he's really a good guy, you know, because he forgave him. And I'm still pissed. You can tell, I still have not forgotten it. I never will forget it. But I have to say, I've had to ease up a little bit on the guy, because when it came to dealing with his friend Robert, he bent over backwards, you guys. He really did. You see, and I don't know about killing animals out here. You don't hear a lot of it, Paula, because it's, you know, you can't be shooting guns out here. The houses aren't right up close to each other, but it's not like you're out in the middle of nowhere where you can just shoot a gun. There's houses around and there's people around. You know, you shouldn't be shooting shotguns for sure. And I don't think he's a good enough shot to shoot that fox without a shotgun. He had to shoot that fox with a shotgun. So anyway, I don't know. But yeah, the fox got killed. Anyway, this started out as just a little background thing. Now we have happiness on paper. I'll probably stick it in a journal somewhere. So, a little on the trashy side. He definitely is a different character, I will say that. But he was so good to Robert that I couldn't stay mad forever. Yeah, and see, we do have to be careful out here on the island. I mean, we've got a lot of deer that are getting inbred, and they're going to have to do something at some point. And that's another thing, you know, we've got a neighbor down the street that feeds the deer every day. If you want to see a big herd of deer, someday I should go down and get a picture. If you want to see a big herd of deer, big, little, with antlers, without antlers, I mean, it is a big herd. Woody feeds them. And so every day about 5:30. Now it's, you know, dark out then, but usually it's about dusk. If you go down to Woody's yard, you will see the biggest herd of deer out there eating. Hi, Kathy. Yeah, see, we have skunks and coons and armadillos. Armadillos will absolutely ruin your yard if you have grubs. So, yeah, so the wildlife can be a problem, but the fox never hurt anybody. He'd run through your yard. He'd come over and get his squirrel for dinner, and then you'd never see him, you know. So, anyway, I think you can still shoot coyotes. Well, we have coyotes. I've never seen one, but I hear them, so I know they're around somewhere. So, anyway, he just shot the fox over a damn chicken. I can go get him a rotisserie freaking chicken at Walmart for $4, idiot. Anyway, I'm done ranting. Done ranting. Anything else you guys need to see or whatever? This will probably not go on YouTube since it was just a whole bunch of BS is what it was. So anyway, I will stop the recording. We don't have to leave right now, but I'm going to stop the recording. If you watched this, thanks a lot. Catch you next time.